Okay, so in this session, we will talk about what does it mean to write a good college applications essay. The reason we want to be careful about making sure you write a good one is because the college essay is pretty much the only time you will get to explain your side of your personality, which is not shown in your transcripts or your resume. In fact, if your essay actually calls out things which are in your essay, in your resume, in your transcripts, you're making a mistake. The whole idea of an essay is to show the side of your personality to the colleges, which shows that you're not a jerk. You've done, like the personality behind the personality. It's almost like by reading the essay, the litmus test they are making at that point is, do I want to have a cup of coffee with this guy? Do I want to have a roommate like this person? Do I want to share a classroom with this person? Will he add to the intellectual curiosity of the classroom? Will he become somebody new in this classroom? Because understand the fact that these essays are the schools that really care about the essays are the ones that are getting more than 100%, obviously getting much more than 100% people coming in. They are trying to find who are the best ones. They're trying to keep the mug pots out. They want looking for people with genuine personalities. Okay. So in this particular one, we will go over what does it mean to write a good essay. The different types of essays are, the first one that you have to know about is the personal essay, which is what we call as the Common App essay. Personal essay typically is about, of course, most essays are personal essay because they're all writing about you, but the Common App essay is considered is considered very unique because you kind of talk about some side of your personality where they give you enough rope to hang yourself. You're expected to be creative. You're expected to talk about some vulnerable side of you, something unique about who you, how the way you think, how you process information, how life has, when things have been given to you, how you've converted them into an opportunity or yada, yada, yada. The point being, it's 20% of what happened to you and 80% of what you took made out of what you were given. That's what they're trying to figure out from you, okay? Common App, within the Common App, you are typically writing one essay, which is one of the 7 prompts. We'll go over what the 7 prompts are. You are also writing optionally a COVID essay if you're explaining to the team that if you had some extenuating circumstances for COVID, you are also writing an essay for unusual circumstances that you want them to know about, where maybe you're explaining a bad grade, or maybe you have a completely a different situation that you want to explain. But there are 3 different types of essays you would typically do in a Common App. Then you have what's called as a supplemental apps. Supplemental apps essays are the ones which colleges are going to give to you as a prompt in addition to what the Common App is giving to you. Okay. So understanding nomenclature is important. Common App is 1 personal essay, 1 COVID essay, 1 explaining some external circumstances. Supplemental essays typically are associated with the uniqueness of the school, which is like why Stanford, why UC, why this, why University of Southern California. They come in 2 different flavors. You either are, maybe they give you 1 prompt which says, how do you think you will add to our values or something like these are our mission statements and stuff. Or there are other schools like Stanford. Stanford will send you an essay or say, please write a letter to your prospective roommate or the ones you're going to meet, telling them about yourself. You've been given the email address of your roommate and you have to just send him a note introducing yourself. What would you write? Okay. University of Chicago and CMU and all are really notorious for how crappy and how difficult they make the essays. University of Southern California will give you an essay which will have like 50 word prompts, like 6 or 7 prompts. What was your favorite character? Which was your favorite movie? You're not expected to write a one-liner. You're expected to write 50 words or 50 characters, whatever they're asking for. Be very careful with those answers because I personally believe those answers are looked upon more quickly and are more personality building from the adcoms than are the Common App, which is 650 words. Your personal, the supplemental, which will be 300, 400 words. Be very, very careful, okay, with that. That said, let's move into what does it mean to write a super duper app essay, okay? So the purpose of a personal essay is this is your opportunity to introduce yourself. to people who are deciding whether to not, like I said, to invite you to their campus. So you are expected to not be as, you're expected to be respectful, but you're expected to say something important about yourself. Okay. Think of this like a face-to-face interview. I like how they've called it. Most people, they take a prompt and they literally throw in a kitchen sink. Okay. The question says, tell me about something unique about your background. And they go like, I'm glad you asked that question. I was born here. I did this thing and this, I attended this taekwondo. I did this, I did that. And you're like, what the F, where did you go? It's like, what happened? What answer was that? Like the question was, tell me something unique about your personality that makes you unique as a participant. And you just thrown in the kitchen sink. That's the classic thing which students do, not answering the prompt. Okay. Important thing is to be yourself. Show you are an effective communicator, which is you can be engaging just by your writing. Sometimes it's fair prompt to even ask a question while you're writing, somebody's reading. That person who's reading is, so you can ask a rhetorical question as well. Like you're probably thinking, where is this guy going? Let me tell you this, right? That is a way of putting a communication in the essay itself, which shows your communication skills. For example, if you have a Common App prompt, which is saying, write in 650 words. If you think you've got like, I just before this call, I got late to come in this call because this girl I was talking to, I was writing with her some, UC, University of California essays. And that one prompt was 350 words. She wrote about 700 words and I saw there was utter garbage all over. So I took pretty much what she had and I brought it down to 220 words. And she said, but this is not what the prompt said. And I said, honey, the prompt says 350 or less. She goes, but do you have 220? I'm like, yeah. Do you see a problem in the words? She goes, no, you've expressed really well, but it's only 220 words. That is what they're looking for. They're looking for people who can very concisely get an important point across. If they're saying 350 words, you definitely don't want to go over 350. But even at 340, why would you take your 340 when a question can be answered in lesser words? If you are repetitively saying some stupid things over and over again, if you are saying 3 things instead of 1 thing, if you're diluting your brand, you have to come, the whole concept of executive writing, that's what they're checking in you. Okay. Providing information to explain the rest of the application. So this literally, the personal statement is your glue on which your entire application will hold. So whatever 2-3 values you talk about, and students, when they come and ask me like, how do I start? I'm like, think through all your values and what are the 2-3 things you think you want them to know about you. Okay. What is it? What do you want? What do you think is unique about you in terms of values, not stories? What do you think they should know about you? Well, I am sincere, I'm creative, I'm artistic, I ace it with CS. Okay, so then tell me more stories about it, right? That's one simple way of brainstorming, saying what is it that you want them to know, which they can't see on the resume or the transcript, and the students start opening up. Okay. This is also to include what's not. So for example, if you are taking care of somebody in your house, if there is a sick person in your house, where would you write about that? This is your opportunity to showcase that, I had more responsibilities. I'm like the first generation, first child in the family. And in addition to taking care of studying, I also had to do babysitting. I had to do all these things. So all that can be made a part of your application. Okay. Differentiate yourself from other students with a similar application. Okay. So typically like a Mission San Jose students, which is 80-90% Asians. Okay. All students have done piano, all students have done taekwondo, all students have done the same chess and math Olympiad, everybody does that, right? So you can't change your extracurriculars, but what you can change is the kind of essay you write, what you think about life, what do you want to communicate, okay? You only get one chance to make a first impression, okay? So your hook should be something which gauges somebody, the other person, and eye-catchy, but it better be a decent hook which actually continues through the application. A hook shouldn't be the hook just for the heck of it. I have students who come and say, I have a story, but I don't know what my hook should be to start it off. And I'm like, that's so stupid. It's like, like how can you, like you don't plan for the hook comes. It just keep writing. At some point, it will come up with a hook, okay? Choosing the best subject for you, okay? Do not restate what's already in the application or list every activity. It's not your resume. It's not your bragging time to do that. Focus on one aspect, very important. Don't put in a kitchen sink over there, okay? Examine the prompt, especially clearly before you start doing what you're gonna do. Read the prompt like 5 times. If there's a period in the prompt, put a enter statement over there. Like you break down that entire paragraph that has been given to you into like 4 lines, saying, okay, I have to make sure I hit all of these things. Number one reason people fail in the essay is they don't answer the question. Brainstorm to see if there are any topics with potential. This is an area Shreya used to make a big mistake, my daughter. She would look at the brainstorm and the topic and she would start writing. Before I knew, it's been 2 days, she's writing. And then she would come to me and say, hey, I already wrote it. I'm like, dude, you didn't even talk to me about it. So then we would spend 2 days just arguing about the content because she insisted that she wrote the right things because she had spent 2 days time putting it together. So the worst thing you can do is start writing. It's important to brainstorm. It's important to think through your strategy, talk to at least one more person around you that this is the kind of points I want to hit home. What do you think? Am I in the right spot? Kind of just jot it down like a brainstorming perspective. Okay. Stay with an open mind. Very, very important to think through in a very, whatever thoughts come, you get thoughts, somebody else gets thoughts, put it down, write it down. No thought is bad thought. Okay. Over here. Focus on aspects of your life where you're passionate and you can describe who you are as a person. What's going to be relevant towards your future goals, which shows you to be successful as a college student. So passionate could be, I like hiking. Like one of my students wrote an essay on baking. During COVID, he learned baking skills. Entire essay was how he connects baking to other aspects of his life, why he thinks by becoming the best baker, he will be the best engineer. Okay. One of my students writes about becoming why he always was a soccer referee. Okay. And the incident he talked about why he became a referee was he refereed the game which his coach's daughter was playing on that game. Okay. And the calls he made were actually not in favor of their team. So what all he had to go through as a process. So it shows a lot of values, a lot of conviction in their personalities. Planning your essay, what type of essay are you writing? Is it a narrative? Are you telling a story to capture the interest? Or it is, what's the essay, right? I mean, is this just a narrative or is it like you're giving, or you're taking a position on something with some hypothesis along with it? You better have a good conclusion as well, okay? Formal, informal, sarcastic. You can't be negative. It can't be inappropriate. Do not try to do cliches. Don't try to get way too creative. We don't need too many funny people. This is not a funny project. This is serious stuff. Okay. There's no smileys, no LOL, no LMAO, nothing in this essays. Do not try to be somebody else. You don't try to fake yourself. Don't try to be somebody who they want you to hear. When they say, tell us about your values, if you say, oh, honest, sincere, hardworking, bullshit, all that crap doesn't work. Okay. Be honest. I'm vulnerable. I am scared. I battle, or never talk about depression. Okay. I feel like an imposter. Okay. Give it up. Give yourselves a position in thinking. Okay. And like imposter syndrome is a perfect one to go with. Don't just say why I feel like an imposter. Write why you feel like one, and then you talk about how you have overcome it, or why, what in life has made you say that, and how you've gotten around it, and what are some of your dilemmas. That's great stuff. Think about 1 or 2 words that will describe your personality to others that you would use to characterize yourself. What tone best conveys this? Okay, write with a focus and a clear voice. Very important. Okay, clear, active voice, no passive stuff. Okay, got to be engaging in your statements. Concrete examples. I can't tell you how many times I come across essays where there's no examples, or it's such a lame, stupid example. Okay, most is lecture. I learned this, and I realized that I have this amazing quality in myself. And you're like, what is wrong with you? Would you ever speak like this to somebody? Think of this as a conversational discussion. You never say, I'm that cool. You give a story and let the other person imagine. Okay. Don't sound like a thesaurus. Don't try to just throw big words which you don't know about. Okay. keep it within the assigned word count. In my opinion, if you can even go way less, like 25% under the word count and still get a kick-ass point across, you get brownie points, okay? After you finish the work, check that you've addressed all the requirements of the prompt, okay? Make sure you can read the question. I like this thing. I usually finish my essays in the night when I work with the student, and I tell them that time in the night, they are usually going, yeah, everything with me. I'm like, look at this in the morning and again in the night tomorrow, and then send me a note. And they're like, I missed out of this, I missed on this. It's amazing the mind, how it works in the night. So regurgitate in the night before you go to sleep about a topic. Even if you have a writer's block, next day morning, things get a lot better. Things that readers are looking for: leadership, they're looking for rigor. So if you want to talk about rigor, that's fine. But talk about rigor like I got an A in calculus is not what they want to know. They can see that in the transcript. If you have a story behind it about your insecurities, like I was just on this with this girl, she was failing at calculus, and from failing in calculus, she got to calculus AB, got a 5 on the AP test. So she talks about her journey and what she changed in her life, about what she was eating, how she was working and stuff, and talks about that rigor, right? So it explains these concepts, okay? Overcoming struggle. This is not your place to talk about excuses or, apology notes saying, yeah, I messed it up. Take responsibility, show that you made your change. Show you work with the community, right? Talk about your services, parts of it, extracurriculars, to show consistency that you've grown in this involvement in the community. Again, same, they're looking for the upward curve, okay? That what were you doing before? What did you learn? What did you do more about? It's not just about what you did in high school. What will you bring to the university? Okay, so it's important to be able to talk in terms of aspirations. And if you're going to be an astronomer, talk about some of the stories of, maybe you listen to Neil Tyson Armstrong. What's his name? Tyson was the guy, the Cosmos guy. Neil deGrasse, whatever his name was. See how they inspire you. What is the university looking for? They're looking at jobs which are not existing. Like one of my students started one of his essays, his Common App starts by saying, you and I both know, or something like that. He goes, let's be honest about this. You and I have no clue what kind of a job you and I will both take in 10 years. You probably have a little more idea, but the fact is I'm clueless and you probably are too, because the world around us is changing so much, yada, 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 right? It starts with the whole thing. But I loved it, how that angle to start was just brilliant. There's a question in the, okay. Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Thank Rick. Okay. Did you take advantage of all the opportunities given to you, or did you waste them? Okay. So talk about the opportunities in your school, and I'll talk about what you did take of them. Okay. And if they were not there, then even bring that up. Okay. And then if you had to find them from outside, talk about that. Last questions reader will ask them after reading your entire application is, what more, the last question readers will ask themselves after reading your entire application is, what more could this student have done? Ask that question of yourself when you look at your application, okay? So when you start your essays, grab the attention. Purpose is to identify a unique individual. I like to go just, I don't think much in terms of openings and stuff. In fact, I do my opening last. I literally start with my conclusion. I like to do the mind mapping. I take a white paper and I just draw on that a few things. And I jot some points down. And then I actually just speak it into a transcriber. Like as I'm seeing what I've written over there on the points, I just turn on my transcriber on my computer and I just speak into it. And then I will take Grammarly and I'll just fix it up from there. And then I look at, okay, what the hell did I write over here? And that's how it makes a lot more sense to me. Everybody has their own style. I'm not a big fan of starting and then say, okay, what are my 3 points I want to go about it? I just go all over and then take the rant, go through the rant 2-3 times. And then over time, you'll realize you'll get your act in place. Okay. Be explicit or implicit. I like explicit responses. So for example, the moment you start writing your answer, within less than, I think, 2 or 3 sentences, I will write what the question is asking as a question, or the question is expecting as an answer. Because my reader, I think like the reader, that they are very, people, I don't know what mind they are in. They probably just had a fight with their wife, or they're the last part of the day. The last thing a dude wants to do is think. Okay. Nobody wants to think. Nobody gets paid to think. People, it's a very stoic thinking of life. But the point is, I want them to think least. So should I wait for like, tease them for like 7, 8 sentences before I'm like, this is what I want to tell you? No, I want to tell you fairly quickly, and I want to be fairly clean about my answers. Remember, there's a time when you regurgitate, you change your essay about 3, 4 times. There's always a place to put some more fun stuff or to make it more exciting. There is never enough time to get content. We only write content when we brainstorm, okay, of an essay. After that, we start doing all this stupid wordsmithing and all, and just garbage comes out in that case. Thinking back to the words you used to describe yourself, which opening would work best for you to communicate? Yeah. So the values that you have, what kind of an opening would communicate all those values? So like, like the college essay guy, he makes go through a whole values exercise. And I think I've linked it in this exercise as well. There are links, list of like, I think like 300 values. Which one of these applies to you? Whatever your opener is going to be, your opening paragraph, are you communicating those values more or less, or 80% of those in, and they should never be more than 1 or 2 values per essay, okay? Are you communicating? Ask somebody, what values did you see over here? Can you write down the values? If you're going to email it to somebody saying, hey, can you just respond back with what 2, 3 values you saw coming out of here, okay? You'll get some good responses. Body of the essay that you're writing, you elaborate. Consider organization. This is chronological order is fairly important. I don't like chronological order. I like to go about it like a movie story, because I'm trying to put a hook. So I'll typically get a hook, which will be somewhere in between. And then I'll go back to the past, and then I'll go all the way in the future. That's, I find that hero's journey works out best for me. Okay. Your goal is to present yourself as a worthy consideration. Okay. You're not applying to get to Gotham City to become the next Superman or the Batman. So be very careful with what you write over there, because you're trying to show a very humble side, a vulnerable side, somebody you want to befriend over there. Conclusion is, never make the conclusion a summary of what was written over here. So in conclusion, these are the 3 reasons I wrote about earlier in details, and I'm just writing it again. Bullshit, don't do that. I think a conclusion should be powerful. It should connect with the prompt that was asked about, or it could be rhetoric. You can actually ask a question, or maybe give something new over there where the person starts wondering about something different. Then you're tickling that person's intellectual curiosity himself. And I think people like that. So think about that, okay? A dramatic point, insight, okay, an insight gained from the ideas presented, sure, you can do that. Connect yourself to the college, something maybe if you're going to say, incidentally, I saw this was the value of your school, or one of your alumni at the school also did this. So you literally convert a personal essay into a why that school. And now that school feels much more honored, because now you have given them the, you've put their name in the common app. Usually people only put their name in the supplemental, okay? So this is a mark of honor to the school. So it's definitely a school which has a big ego, like a Stanford or something. Absolutely, Harvard, just put it in there, okay? Leave the reader with a provocative. I like this one, provocative final points. I use that all the time, okay? Create an open-ended invitation to get to know you better, okay? Not really, it's like you don't want to write like, come, let's go for a coffee or something, no. I know somebody though who wrote something, and he got into University of Chicago. He wrote these words that I'll see you in, thank you for reading, and see you in the college or something, in Professor so-and-so's class. The dude got in. So maybe there is something in University of Chicago that too. Your words form your initial impression. Yeah, you want to make sure that your qualities are about enthusiasm. You definitely have to sound enthusiastic. You can't be apologetic. You can't be just throwing philosophical crap around. You have to show uniqueness. You have to show some intellectual curiosity that you have learned about something, and the ability to communicate. I think this one trumps everything else. If you're able to communicate a point of view, even if it's a simple point of view, you're good. If you're beating around the bush and you're not able to communicate and you just finish a lame, stupid essay, which didn't get anything across really of value, then doesn't matter. Okay. Do you fit into this college? Cultural fit in the school is showing from your essays, the quality of essays. For the short questions, okay, these are the 50 word questions or like 100-word questions, right? They're expecting concrete information. If you use some particular prompt before, don't try to use it the same over here. Now, something different can be like, for example, you're using a piano, that my piano skills. There's so many corollaries to piano, right? Music to hard notes, music to math, music to tenacity, creativity, integrity, a lot of things, right? So if you're going to talk different things and you have different stories about it, go for it, okay? But you try to be careful not to use the same response from, once you use something in the common essay, that's gone. So you kind of, you have to decide which one of your incidents of your life do you want to sacrifice in the common essay, okay? See this one? Use your opening to immediately address the topic without actually repeating the sentence. You don't have to say, your prompt said this, that's why this. But please get them to understand that, okay, you understood the question. That is the one thing the guy is fairly nervous about. Are you going to waste my time for the next 30 minutes or what? Okay. Specific details that refer only to the topic. Okay. Be specific, clear, direct, be brief, very important. And do not be redundant. And redundance, I'm telling you, it comes all the time. You look at your essays, rarely do I find an essay which I see for the first time and won't find like 2 or 3 places where 3 sentences literally next to each other will be saying the same thing in different ways. Okay. Last but not the least, don't be afraid to begin in the middle of things. This is what I like. It's called en media res. I don't know how to spell it. It's Latin word. But you start from the middle, go up, back down. It's okay to say, hey, I learned this. I feel good about this part of it. But don't sound like an ass. Okay. If it's a negative topic, it's okay to start with negative, but finish on a positive outcome. That's important. Okay. If you're going to talk about depression, or if you really think that's a core part of you, you make sure you talk about the community aspect of it and how you've come out of it. And then right now you're perfect. Okay. Choose one facet of an experience and polish it to form a single effect to the reader. Very, very, very important. Okay. One facet. Do not go beyond that. General application tips. So very important is you have to see the flow. If you have 4 essays, don't think they're going to read one in order. I mean, if they have a common app that they're using, the common app will show you the order in which they're going to get it. But don't assume they will read in that same order, even though you can make some assumptions that if it says 1, 2, 3, 4, they will get a 1, 2, 3, 4, but sometimes the common app goes into a different application, a different system. That system might show the questions in a different order. So try not to overlap information. Overlapping from the common app essay to the supplementals is okay, but not from supplemental 1 to supplemental 2, which if you are both for the same school. Okay. Readers use their parent lens. I don't know what this one means. You see readers put your scores in context. So a top 10% student, this thing is not viewed the same as a top from different place. So scoring is different. Okay. Don't lie. They do conduct background checks. They will. If they think you're going over and above, you're talking like a Spider-Man, they will make a phone call saying, hey, this student says this thing, is it true? And your counselor, guidance counselor is very, very happy to make the true statement because they care for the school more than you. If chances are, if they know that you have not done something, they will not sugarcoat it for you. Okay. Don't expect that. If a college, it needs more information, they could conduct a deeper review, which means they could ask for your second semester grade, senior writers. You've got to be very careful about it. Many students will mess up their second semester, that is of senior year, and they will get an application which is rescinded from them. Okay. If you are choosing a major, if you're passionate about it, you declare it. It's fine. This topic came up yesterday also, right? It's okay to say you're undeclared. That's fine. Okay. Choose what you want to do, not what your parents are asking you to do. Choose just because others in your school are going there, don't have to go there. I'm not a big fan of those 8-year long courses either, because you just don't know at age 17 what do you want to do in your life.
So 2 quick points on that, Harpal, if we could go back to this a moment. So the point about readers considering your application as a whole is very, very important. And the essay really fits into that. You earlier said you referenced it as glue. And that's a very important point. So if there's one place where you can not only sort of talk about something that's very special to you or something that you're passionate about, but also bring the different parts of either the other essay or the some of the extracurriculars, weave that together in the story in the personal statement or the essay, because that's where the reader's going to look at and say, oh, this is the same person. So again, to be clear, don't repeat things that are elsewhere in the essay, I mean the application, because that's going to be a waste of space. But if you can weave those things into sort of a quilt of yourself, of your story, that's going to be a really powerful essay. And the second point I want to call out on this page is about the fourth point with respect to background checks. Background checks are conducted in many cases, not all cases. But the other thing I want to say is that essay writing services and examples have become very popular. Do not be tempted to use those, because most schools know about these services and will actually look at some of the essays and compare essays that they receive to the essays that are available on these services. So whatever you do, I mean, I'd actually warn against even looking at them for ideas, but don't be tempted to use those at all.
In fact, I was using Grammarly today, Rick, and for one of my students to look at something, and it actually has a plagiarism index where I don't even have to look outside to explicitly go and say, is there plagiarism here? And Grammarly provides a service to colleges as well.
That's right.
That you can check for plagiarism. So a professor doesn't have, or an AdCom doesn't have to explicitly say, you know what, this looks way too manicured, it's plagiarized, let me check. They'll get the score implicitly, their software will give it to them.
Exactly.
But that's a good point. Okay.